TraderManager.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
All right, hello everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. I have a little bit of a cold, so maybe I sound a little weird. And on top of it, my microphone is still not working. I've ordered a new mic, DJI mic, so hopefully it will be here tomorrow. I was hoping it would be here by today, but it's not, unfortunately. So I got to deal with the Samsung Galaxy Buds, which are not that bad, but not amazing. So, hello Ucha, good to see you. Again, not going to be a long stream today. Once I get my DJI mic, I think we'll get back to using camera. We'll have much better sound quality, and hopefully the market will be pointing in a much more bullish direction. Just make sure. Ucha, can you hear me okay? You're the only person here, I think. Maybe you can't hear me. Okay. Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me? It says 3 people are here. Okay, so it sounds fine. Audio 5 out of 5. Wow. Okay, well, now you guys know Samsung Buds. I'm just using my Samsung Galaxy Bud 3. They're really good. They're the same as Apple Buds but cheaper. So if you have an Android, highly recommend. I read some complaints about them online before right after I ordered them, and I regretted it. But now I've been using them for about a month, and personally, I think they're really good. So highly recommend Samsung Galaxy Buds. I think you can get them for like 150 bucks or something. Well, SPX looks like it's rallying a bit here. Let me just adjust my buds. I've got them on sound blocking mode. Okay, what do you guys want to talk about today? Like, I can do my general SPX appeal. You know, I can talk about where I think the market's going to go over the next week as we go into these Trump tariffs, or we can focus on crypto. But honestly, look, honestly, I've been watching everything with the market, and it seems like everything is just following the S&P. Like, if the S&P goes down, Bitcoin goes down. If the S&P goes up, Bitcoin goes up. If the S&P goes up, Tesla goes up. If the S&P goes down, Tesla goes down. And the same for all the altcoins. But I'm seeing some major changes across the board, like massive shifts that are not showing in the S&P. I do want to apply. I've talked about the M2 money supply, right? So we've got that Colin guy's M2 money supply thing. It's not a great predictor, but I do like looking at it, and we can show it on the chart and see how it was. Now I have to offset it, but we do see that the M2 money supply went to all-time highs, and it's still basically at all-time highs compared to before. So theoretically, the market should go higher. And what percentage is this above? I don't think this is all to scale, but like 3%. So theoretically, this should at least go 3% higher, which would bring us to that 63. I think it's going to go to around 6,500. If you haven't checked my chat for my long-term study that I published a couple weeks ago now, I have a second study. I keep revising it, and this past week I was really busy with something else, so I haven't had a chance to get to it at all. Plus, I've been sick. So I will get to it. It's going to be a lot about this M2 money supply thing, which you've probably already seen, but I have a slightly different take. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Hello Sting B. Hello Gils. Reg Jomain. I think you're new. I haven't seen you. Anyway, glad you guys like the Galaxy Buds. We'll do a test next week where we'll compare the Galaxy Buds to the DJI mic. And hopefully the DJI mic is better, but it was cheap, you know. It was only about 120 bucks for that microphone. I was surprised how cheap it is, but now Now that I have that, we'll never ever have mic issues on this show ever again. Never. Thank you, Zerkella. QQ's bounce is nearly over, looking very much like 2022 until we see the Qs get over the daily 200 MA 495. Yeah, I mean, so your statement there makes sense, especially if we look at, let me bring over my things here. Especially if we look at this right here, investor sentiment. So the majority of investors are still bearish. Why would the market drop and head into a massive bear when everyone's bearish? It's never happened before. This is massive bearishness. We need to see people get bullish, overjoyed, and then the market can drop. I don't see it happening when the number of bears is it's so high. So that's something big. Options tomorrow, max pain is around 5,700 to 5,750. So kind of you're kind of in this $100 range, 565 to 575. $100 range with SPX, right? This is SPY, so 10 point range here on SPY. But that's going to be a range with me leaning on the bull side a bit, and we'll go over that shortly. So I just thought I'd show you what I'm seeing here. Crypto fear and greed, kind of around 40. Bitcoin liquidations. I don't really put too much into this anymore because I think it can go either way, and I think it's just following the S&P. So I'm not putting too much into this simply because the correlation between Bitcoin and the S&P 500 is so strong right now that I don't think that any of this stuff matters. That's all. Like even the reverse repo, this is just bouncing between around 80 to 90 to 200. I also don't even think it matters that much. So there's all that data. No reason to really look at it. S&P looks decent as far as recovery, and actually the M2 money supply had a spike up in this area, and then it had a spike down, and then the big spike up. So we could be looking at something like that, or we're just going to spike up from here. Those are basically your two scenarios. Either way, in the next 1 month, I think we're going to head higher, especially with the Trump tariffs coming in April 2nd. I think a lot of people are going to think it's a bearish scenario, and they're going to try to short, and instead we're going to rally. I think that's what you're going to see. It's going to be a buy the. It was like a sell the news event, and then it's going to be buying of the actual event itself. If that makes sense. Now the daily has not crossed over as far as RSI, but MACD is bullish on a weekly chart. Weekly is not really giving us much. Weekly is bearish, but I don't put too much credence into this because you can see that MACD can be super bearish. Same with RSI, and then it can just turn around and head straight up. And you can see how we often bounce off this like 40 RSI level. It's a big level. It's why I have that line there. See how there's a reason I have these different lines, because they're often considered RSI support levels. So that's why I have them. I'm surprised there's only 14 people here today. Normally we have a lot more views. I wonder what's going on. It's weird. Maybe people gave up with the market, got washed out. Seeing that in a couple different chat rooms that I'm in on Discord. A lot less participation compared to in the past. Where's my... Okay, let's see if I can see the chat. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we go to the daily chart. It's not looking too bad. We can go to a lower time frame. Had a decent rally here. Not looking great on the 4-hour. Head to the lower time frame. 1 hour looks good. We did cross over on this 1 hour. So I think the 1 hour really helps show why I'm bullish. You had this spike down. This is a liquidity hunt. So they hunted liquidity all the way down, and they filled the gap. So if we go to ES, right, there was actually a gap here. This is the S&P 500 futures. So we filled the gap, right? That's what that was. Filled the gap, ran stops, and now I can see us moving higher. That's basically what happened, and that's why it's worth it to check the ES. I don't see the daily brief link posted in the Discord. Okay, let me do that. I figured everyone got notifications Maybe that's why. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for the reminder. All right. So ran the stops, and now I can see us moving higher, although it is a bit of a no man's zone we're in right now. But considering options expiry tomorrow, M2 money supply, and a couple other factors, I think it looks decent to continue. However, until we get over my trend heuristic channel right here, and this is based on a daily chart, this is resistance at around 5,800. That's your resistance area. So don't get too bullish. Understand that long term, I'm talking like over the next 7 days until the next daily brief with me on, you could get something like this and then a move up, or we're gonna go straight up. Those are the two scenarios. And I don't see us going much lower than here. I don't see like a massive crash scenario. Maybe 5,500. That's it. I don't see more than that. For today into Friday, I am leaning on the bull side, just because of that OPEX mainly, and because of the I don't think they would do a stop run like this down to 56.80 if they weren't going to move the market higher. Now next week, if we do pull back, this is kind of your buy zone here, 55.68 to 55.40. That's the area I would be looking to go long. Yeah, I mean that's kind of it, and everything else is gonna follow suit. Like if the S&P rolls over, everything will roll over. If it rallies, everything's gonna rally. That's it. But we can drill down and look at individual names. Like Tesla looks really good here. I've been pounding the table about Tesla, talking about Tesla, and that the time to buy was last week when all the Teslas were being burned down, and that was your buy. So right here on the 4-hour chart, we crossed over this downtrend line, and that was your buy right there, 225. Now I bought all the way down, so my average buy is actually 260 right here. So I'm in a nice profit now, and I've actually taken a little bit of profit simply because we're running into this trend heuristic channel. So I had a 2x ETF long, and I exited some of my profits there. And then actually yesterday I've been doing a little bit of short-term trading. So yesterday I put a put on, and I took profits on that put because I thought we were going to rally today. So I exited that. And that was just kind of to hedge myself. Various retests and 466. Yeah, reg domain. That's definitely possible. I'm only leaning bullish simply because of the into Friday because of the OPEX. I think that's the Max Payne scenario is around kind of where we are at this point, if that makes sense. So Tesla, yeah, looks good as far as from a bull perspective. 4-hour looks like it wants to continue higher. Daily is extremely bullish. I don't see why we wouldn't just keep moving higher from here. I'm gonna get rid of a couple of things, get rid of the noise. So you can see how we tagged 78.6 basically. That was your buy level. We filled this gap right here. We had one more small gap down here at 150, but we didn't. I would have been shocked if we filled that, but we did fill this 215 gap. And we're on the other side. We're no longer in this downtrend channel that I have here, so I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm also going to get rid of that. And now we've just got our VWAP levels, and we can make. Let's get rid of a few other things. Let's clean up this chart. It's a little bit messy. Sorry, guys. Get rid of all this old stuff. Save it. And we're going to look at what does chaos tell us. So we're seeing pretty much, let me go to a 4-hour. I like to have 1.618 line up with something. And this looks decent. We're seeing kind of like what I'd want to see. These don't line up perfectly. But essentially chaos is a bullish chaos is pointing to around 358. is where we should rally to on this move. And if we do something like an ABCD, right? That points to about 330. So 330 to 358 potential for this move. I'm bullish on it until this breaks down, right? This is your 4-hour uptrend. Until that breaks down, I'm bullish on Tesla, and I'm extremely long. If I see any short-term possible breakdowns, I'll hedge with like a put a little bit. But so far, I haven't seen anything that's caused me to want to hedge. Other than the little trade here, right here yesterday. Right? But now I'm completely long, and this looks very, very bullish. I think you would be a fool to try to short this. Daily chart, MACD is incredibly bullish, and targets kind of up here, at least in the short term. Long term, we could go a lot higher. Keep in mind the weekly is bearish. However, we had this 8 and 9, TD 8 and 9 on the weekly, which I talked about last week, and I showed how going all the way back, they've been good for at least a bounce. And that's what you're getting. If we look at the entire Tesla move here, from those highs to the lows, 38.2 is right around our 90-day VWAP. What a coincidence. And around a little bit below where our 4.669 level was. I think, let me go back, I forgot where it was. It's at 358. So 358 and 3.59. So that lines up with 38.2 and 0.5. So there's your kind of a bit of confluence there. And that hopefully that explains my Tesla targets and where I think, we could be headed for Tesla. All right, let's keep moving on here. Let's go to, do I want to talk about anything else stock related? Wait, I'm looking at my stocks now. Do I want to talk about anything related to stocks here? I mean, I have all my Bitcoin miners. I have Intel, PayPal. Just looking, do I want to talk about? Walgreens Boots Alliance is still in good profits. Celsius is in good profits. I talked about those before. Yeah, I can look at those crypto names. I'm just seeing if you guys want me to look at any stocks, just kind of post it in the chat, and I can maybe look at it quickly. But for now, I think I'm gonna hop over to Bitcoin. We can talk about Bitcoin. Yeah, crypto junkies. We have to talk about the stock market because we have to, because Bitcoin just follows the stock market. Don't you guys understand that basically Wall Street owns Bitcoin at this point? Like I know everybody's a crypto junkie, but understand that Wall Street controls this. And higher than that, the big banks control crypto. Like that, if they print money, Bitcoin's going to go up. If they pull money out of the system, Bitcoin's going to go down. So just understand that it's all a game that central banks are playing. That's all it is. Wait, I want to check something on here. Let's see. Yeah, this is kind of just ranging. Hold on 1 second, because okay. Yeah, so on the daily chart with Bitcoin, does this look bullish or bearish? Hello, Hector. Nice to see you. Bullish or bearish? What are we thinking? Any thoughts? I know we got a little bit of a delay here. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna give it like another 1 minute. Oh, you guys are just naming things that you want me to look at. Oh God. Okay, well, look, I think it's super bullish. RSI, massive RSI downtrend that started basically back in November, December, is now breaking out to the upside. And MACD is extremely bullish. Weekly has a 7 that came in on Tom DeMark. Hasn't fully crossed over. But overall, this looks very bullish. We only have my trend heuristic channel right here, kind of blocking Bitcoin from moving higher. And if we do move higher, we'll move up quickly to this 90-day VWAP. You see how this would be a big liquidation level. You might even move up here to like 95K. It would be a very fast move. There's not a lot going on before that. And I'm leaning towards that scenario, of course, unless, you know, there is the chance that S&P falls off, right? If we get a bit of my bearish scenario, we're going to get a pullback first, wash people out, go down to around 83K, and then we'll move higher. So it's the same as the rest of the market, where you're going to get one of these two scenarios. And that's kind of all there is to it. You don't need to complicate it. That's what I'm seeing. I can drill down to lower time frames. To me it looks like it's just basing here. So we had this sharp move up. We're still in this uptrend on an 8-hour chart here. And you could say we did something like this, and now we're just creating a bit of a bull flag, and then we're going to have them move up to about, you know, first 91K, and then I expect something up to like 94, 95K. I know a lot of people on Twitter are leaning bearish, but I just can't be bearish as long as that daily chart is as bullish as it is, and I don't have a breakdown on any of these lower time frames. No significant breakdowns yet. We can even run a little bit of a chaos analysis on this range that we spent a good amount of time in. Something along these lines would make sense for me. We have 1.618 tag, we're stuck there. 2.618 is the next level, which lines up with liquidation levels here. 3.3 and 3.59 are in our next liquidation area, and then right up here 4.618 would go all the way above all of this. So that could be a potential big move for Bitcoin here, if we continue to the upside without a pullback. Now, the other scenario for the next week is, again, this potential pullback down here, maybe 79K, and then bounce. That's your other scenario. I'm like 70-30. So 30% chance we're gonna roll over, take out these lows, maybe only go to about 81, somewhere between 81 and 79K, or we just head straight up and it plays out kind of how I showed with my chaos levels. I'm seeing potential weekly hit and bull div on B, which would play out lovely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it looks decent. I would not be shorting here. I think you should only be hunting longs. It would be the height of insanity to be hunting shorts here. Yeah, I can look at the heat map. Haven't really. I don't like the heat map. It's been wrong many times and it's screwed me over, so I've kind of avoided using it, but we can look at it quickly. I like to do symbol, so I get all of the exchanges. And then you have all these time frames that also mess it up. Oh, there's something wrong with my mouse. Oh no, the dreaded mouse issue. This happened last week too. I don't know why this happens. Like my mouse just gets super slow. Yeah, so liquidations around 89, 90K, and then you've got liquidations all the way down to 83. Both sides. Oh, what is happening with my mouse? This is weird. All right, I'm gonna exit this. It did something weird to my mouse. Wait 1 second. I'm gonna turn my mouse off and then turn it back on. Oh, still slow. I'm gonna try. What can I try? Why does this happen? I remember last time this happened, I had to restart the computer. I'm going to disconnect the mouse. Maybe that's something to do with my headphones, but I'm gonna disconnect this and reconnect it. It's Bluetooth, yeah. It's Bluetooth. I don't know why it's doing this. might have something to do with these headphones I'm using. Can't even disconnect it. Do that. I'm going to turn off my Bluetooth and turn it back on the computer, and that will also disconnect the headphones. Okay, you guys should be able to hear me now. That seems to be fixed. Yeah, there we go. I don't know why it does that. No, the battery is fine. It's something happens with the Bluetooth and because of these headphones. It never happened before. Something with that. It's fine now. Oh, good. All right, back to that was a slight break. Thank you everyone for your patience. Let's get back to the programming. So Bitcoin, does everyone understand my viewpoint? Any questions? I think it should be clear. Next, we can look at Solana. So Solana has tagged my 1.618 level. And oh, by the way, it came down into our long-term buy zone. So this is kind of a look at Solana from the beginning of 2024 to now. And our buy zone was basically down here. 78.6, 88.6, between 150 and 131, with stops at 109, 110 basically. We didn't hit that, so that was your reload zone for Solana. And it's looking good from a rally perspective. 4.618 is at 90-day VWAP. Our chaos level is basically at 90-day VWAP. Up here, 189, that's my target. Should take out a lot of stops if we get up there. We hit 1.618 in reverse so far. It looks good on a daily chart from a bull perspective. Just heading higher. Bull, bull, bull. You had a nice pullback here. I longed this pullback. So I'm long off this pullback. And looking for higher. You can see how we had a TD 8, 7, 8, and 9 come in. We started to break down, but we're kind of Wing out. So this is another one of those scenarios where if the S&P can hold on, or it can move higher, then I expect Solana to move higher, 2.618 level, and then 4.618. That's the big move I kind of expect after this long-term, over month-long consolidation, which is generally how long these things kind of last. But again, there's the opposite scenario where if everything rolls over, then this will also roll over and we'll hit some stops below. So same thing. I feel like a broken record. All this stuff moves together. I don't even like looking at these things individually because they all kind of do the same thing. The percentages might be different, but the actual move is generally the same. So here we go on optimism, also moving higher. RSI breakout on the daily, still below my trend heuristic channel, but it looks good to potentially move higher into these major resistance levels I have drawn. I'm actually going to get rid of them. I think they make the chart look messy. Get rid of all this stuff. It's a little bit cleaner. You can see we've been consolidating down here for a long time, basically since February. So it's been 2 months. I think it's overdue for a bit of a rally. And chaos kind of points to 1.268, which would make sense from like a let's liquidate everyone that's short perspective. Makes sense to just head above this level and take out anyone that's short. So I'm also long optimism and looking for us to move higher based on this daily breakout, which happened in the last few days. Last week I was still a little bit unsure, but now I'm definitely in the bull camp. If we look at the weekly, right? So weekly looks, you had a 7, 8, 9 come in, and then you have divergence now on the MACD. RSI not so much, but on MACD you do. And you can even see, yeah, look at this MACD divergence major. And you can even see on our divergence detector on weekly, we've got 4 potential divergences. 3 on the daily, 3 confirmed, 1 potential. And on a daily chart, you actually do have, so you actually do have the divergence with RSI, where price made a lower low, but RSI did not. See that? Looking good. Looking good. I like it. Ah, Rune. Yeah, we can look at Rune. We don't really love Rune, huh? That was what a nightmare. We'll look at it. Yeah, I mean it's so basically it crashed, right? So you had the crash, and now it's going through the consolidation phase, and we're at about 60 days now. And that's normally how long these things kind of last. So we're due for some kind of rally here. I mean, this is an ugly RSI chart, but we're right at the 50 level. So if it can push above, it should take off higher. You really should. You did have a 7, 8, and 9 here that's going to put a damper on things, but I mean, this is, I'm looking at this as a big consolidation zone, and that is your upside. Should head to 370. That's what I would like to see that. Can I guarantee that's going to happen? No, but it'd be a nice 200% move. Sui does look good. Sui looks good. I mean, everything kind of looks good, right? Because if we look at the others chart, this is the others chart. I'm going to adjust this because we made a slightly lower low. This is my target up here, and this was my kind of my chaos levels, but I will bring that down and be a little bit more conservative, something like that. It is an ugly W down here. But if we rearrange this, I'm actually going to get rid of it. This one. Delete. Why is it not deleting? It's not deleting. This one's not deleting either. Nothing's working. All right, well, I'll just draw it like this. So this was your big breakout, right? Should move higher from there. Everything's bullish. Weekly chart kind of broke down, but now it's saving itself. You had a perfect 7, 8, and 9 that came in. Should reverse from here. Clear test of this massive support zone down here at the $200 billion level. And this chart is good to look at because this is basically all the altcoins. So you guys are asking about all these individual coins, but look, you're not as diversified as you think. If the market goes down, all your coins are mostly 90% of your coins are going to go down. You might have 1 or 2 that go up, but most of them are going to go down. So I prefer personally to just look at this type of thing and then just pick a few coins that I like that have like good regulations or something. And that seems to work decently well. So this looks bullish. And if this can move higher, then everything's going to move higher. And you can see how this is stuck at the trend heuristic channel, just like Bitcoin. It's exactly the same thing right there, right here, same thing. It's all kind of the same, and it's all connected to this one over here. So I don't get too excited looking at all these different names. XOD, Atom, stocks, please. Yeah, so stocks are a little bit more interesting to look at because I think they do trade more individualistically than, oh wow, Tesla. Quite the dump on Tesla. I don't like seeing that. It's a big reversal. That's not good. That could mean we will head down and fill this gap at 250. Ah, I closed my put. Darn. Okay, anyway, whatever. So this looks generally bullish. And that's kind of my thoughts on crypto. Rocky's asked about Exode and Atom. So Exodus movement. Okay, well, I think you know the answer here, right? Let me close. You already hit it. You hit a TD 789, right? So I don't think. I think the long is kind of over. It's still, I guess technically the uptrend is still intact. But this is an ugly chart. I would be afraid to buy here because we could just go down to here again. Yeah, this is really ugly. I I don't know. I don't actually know where this could go. This is a extremely ugly looking chart. No offense. That's all I have to say on that. Atom, look at Atom. Oh, this one's a little bit better. Atomera Incorporated. What does this do? What does this company do? Why is it so volatile? It's all over the place. Looks like a breakdown on the daily chart. Yeah, you like extreme volatility. It is super ugly. I mean, if you're gonna buy, this is the buy. You are in the buy zone, to be fair. And it does look like you have divergence building nicely. I would watch this on the lower time frames and see how this 4 hour plays out. You know, maybe you have a decent support around $4. You could look to potentially open a long down here, 390, and then your stop. Just put your stop below the lows. I don't like how RSI looks down here. I don't like it at all. Oh, 1 hour. Actually, the 1 hour is not bad. Slight bit of divergence there. I'd like to see it come down a bit more. Take out the lows, and then maybe you can nibble some. It's a tough chart, though. A lot of gaps. Gap here, gap here. Massive, weird run up that doesn't make any sense to me. Best charted on CoinGecko's Gecko terminal. Well, this is a stock, so I don't think that's on CoinGecko or whatever. Okay, so that's kind of my thoughts on Atom. Hopefully that helps. What's my strategic approach I use to make entries? Okay, well, first, nice to see you. Hopefully you're enjoying level 2. The strategic approach, well, I mean, I use the TRI approach, right? So we have momentum, structure, location, and that's mostly it. Sometimes I'll take trades where I have only momentum and location, and I won't wait for the structure because I want to get in earlier. So sometimes I don't use that part, to be clear. But generally, I look for momentum and location. And location is basically this. We're between 78 and 88.6. That's my location strategy. And then I'll take entries. So for something like this, I like the location. I don't like how momentum looks on a daily chart. I don't like it. So I'm going to watch on lower time frames to find a W. I want to see a W in these momentum indicators, and then I can consider a long trade. Until then, yeah, RLZ exactly. Yeah, and until then, I don't feel comfortable taking a long on this because momentum is telling me it's still in a downtrend. And price structure, this is garbage. It's just not. There's gaps everywhere. It just looks terrible. Okay, Hector asked for. Oh, Stingby, you asked for Sui. I guess I can look at Sui quickly. I know Sui's been doing pretty well. Quite a bullish move higher. And you can see in the case of Sui, we came down to 618 and a little bit started to get close. I was hoping for 78.6, but we never got there. But you can see, look at this on a daily chart. Massive, nice reversal. So this is an example of a very nice reversal in the downtrend, where you had a break above. MACD went positive. You have a break above my RSI downtrend. You have a retest, and that's your long essentially here. And now we're rallying, and we're above my trend heuristic. So if it can close above this, this is big. This could move a lot. We can use a little bit of chaos to see where we might go. Target up here at around 340, which makes sense considering all of the resistance. But we can also do this and look at the bottom and go all the way to the top with our fibs. And then we just do the opposite, and our targets are basically here. 61.8 to 88.6. That's like a long-term trade targets where you can take profit. You know, maybe 1/3 here, 1/3 here, 1/3 here, and you're completely out. Or you can even do like 25, 25, 25 and keep 25 to see if you move higher than that. Yeah, Sui looks great. Good breakout. Everything's basically confirmed. I do still think it's subject to, you know, if Bitcoin falls off a cliff, Sui will probably head lower. But for now, it looks good. But the entry for me was down here. This was your entry right here at about 225. Now, a lot of people are looking at it up here where I think it's riskier because now your long would be here. And where's your stop? Well, your stop's kind of down there. And yeah, your target's up here. And yeah, you have a 2-to-1 risk reward. Maybe you could even get to almost a 3-to-1. But I don't like having a potential 31% loss. I would much prefer entering here, setting my stop there, and then I've got an 8-to-1 trade. I don't have a 2-to-1. Well, I'm long already. I'm long Sui from all the way down below. I have it long from. So I added to my long position, and now it says my average is 250, but my actual original long was around the 225, 230 level. And I just added to it as we moved up because it looks so good. So my average is now 250. That's what it says on Binance. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. What else? Wolf. Hector asked for Wolf. Wolf. Let's see. Yeah. Wolf. Is this Wolf Speed? Is it it's not a crypto, right? This is the stock? I entered on the move above the RSI downtrend line. That's when I entered. Ooh, S&P is not looking good. Oh no, my bull scenario is being invalidated. Look at this reversal, terrible. But we are still on the other side on this 1 hour time frame. It's giving me some hope. But these lower time frames look terrible. I guess like you said, they're all the same. Yeah, I can look at it, but they are kind of all the same, right? So Hector, is this the wolf you were talking about? This thing? It's just sitting down here forever. I don't know what this short SL thing is. That's what that is. I don't want that. Glad to hear. This just looks like it's in a downtrend still. I don't. Nothing. Nothing too exciting just yet. It looks like it tried to break out a little bit, but still in a downtrend. Very, very, very long downtrend. Interesting, the 2-week is positive. But overall, it doesn't look great here. Yeah, I wouldn't touch it. I mean, you could set some kind of alert. Maybe it breaks out higher, but I at least don't have the patience to see this reverse. It's just so, I mean, it's doing nothing for a long time. I don't have the patience for that. AI 16Z, whatever this is. Oh, it was just launched on perps. Look at that. It went from $2 to a couple cents. What is this scam coin? What is it, Sting? What do they do? Tell me. They are all the same, but I still want to know. Maybe there's one with like more history. Next usually has a little bit more. So it launched in December. Yeah, I mean, it kind of is just farting along down here. It's like a lot of coins. Probably if you get on the other side of this downtrend, you get above the trend heuristic, could be decent. It's an ugly, ugly chart, in my opinion. Well, how does it make money? Like, it's an AI agent, but is it better than other AI agents? You buy the coin to use it for credits, to use the agent. How does like what is the how does it make money? Flux, please. Okay, well, we'll look at Flux while I'm waiting for Sting B to tell me how this actually makes money. It does look, it has crossed over on the RSI chart on a daily. It looks okay. I mean, it's the same as all the other coins, right? It's basically the same. S&P really took a dump. And you can see Bitcoin dumping also, pulling back with the S&P. What a surprise. So this is on the other side of the downtrend line, same as all the other cryptos we've kind of looked at. I looked at Optimism, it was exactly the same as this. So shouldn't be surprised there. Flux. Okay, let's look at Flux. Flux is a stock or a crypto? Let's see, Flux. There's a Flux crypto and a Flux company. Which one you want? While I'm waiting for that, I'm gonna pull up Mara. Yeah, so these crypto miners got wrecked very badly. And they actually went below what was my uptrending channel. That's the best I can make it. And it still looks like crap. However, I'm gonna get rid of this channel. Actually, I want to keep it just in case we get back inside it. Maybe we'll get back on the inside, and that'll be like your resistance at 28. Yeah. So on a weekly, obviously you have 9. That's a big deal, right? You can see how every time that's come in, it's been a reversal. I added to this today. I added to Mara. You've got a breakout on the other side of the RSI. You have an uptrend here, nice kind of W pattern with bullish divergence. I don't like that we're getting rejected as a trend heuristic. I want to see us on the other side, but it's not the end of the world. So I'm bullish on Mara. I think it's going to head higher simply because the M2 money supply is heading up. So whether this is the bottom or there's a little bit more of a bottom, I'm not sure, but I think this is the bottom area. And I think this could easily double. I'm pretty bullish on this. All we need is Bitcoin to get back to all-time highs. You can see even if you look at this as like this is your range, 4.6 chaos level basically points to this midpoint, so 27, which I believe is 100% return from here. Yeah, 103%. So very bullish on crypto miners. They have had quite a big pullback. You just need Bitcoin to basically rally, and the miners will follow. There's a bunch of miners. They all basically look the same. I don't think I need to go through them all. It's like Coin is Coinbase, right? That's not a miner, but it's same sector. Iron is another one. What other ones do I have? CLSK is is CLSK a miner? I can't even remember. I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know why else I would have a bunch of it. One that I have a bunch of Celsius, by the way, that I've done very well with, but unfortunately it has a date TD9 on the daily. Maybe I should take profits on this. And it's tagging your 200-day moving average. I'm looking for Celsius to move higher because the weekly chart is so bullish. but I would maybe wait for a pullback because this daily looks like it wants to roll over potentially and reject from that 200 day. And then you can look for entries down here at like 28, 29. I actually think I might take profits on this a bit. Wait 1 second. I'm gonna take some profits on my long. All right, close. Let's close half of that. I didn't even know that there's a TD 8 to 9. All right, good. Profits taken because I bought all the way down here. Oh, actually, let's look. What was my average buy? Average price. Okay, my average price. It says that doesn't make sense. Maybe I added to the position, but it says my average price was $30, but I don't think that makes sense. It definitely bought at least down here in 25 area. Okay, crypto. Flux was crypto, so let's go back to Flux. Yeah, I mean, so Flux is exactly the same as almost everything else. We could even do it like this, like this. It's very similar to all the other stuff we're looking at. Everything went to shit, and now it's getting ready to reverse. See, we're on the other side, and it consolidated, and now it's getting ready to move higher. Basically the same as all the other coins. So I don't know how much there is there. I don't know what the point of owning a ton of different coins is. I'm not really. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I think it's just better to have like 3 coins and maybe you do a little bit of leverage on the coins, like 2, 3x to supercharge your gains. Rather than having like 10 coins that you have to watch all the time and all move a slightly different percentage, but basically move in the same direction. What do you think of buying call options on miners for January 16th? January. You mean like you're gonna buy leaps? So something from a year from now? I mean that's fine. I think that's a pretty risk-free strategy. You're gonna buy them out of the money or in the money? Because if you're gonna do in the money, you might as well just go only 6 months out. Why do a year? Why pay that much? But if out of the money, then maybe, it is better to consider something like that. S&P is really falling off. I don't want this because I want Bitcoin to go up. See, you see how this was at, if we go to like a 15-minute chart, we were here before at 87, like 87,400. And now because S&P is falling off, crypto is also falling off. See how that's all connected? Out of the money. Yeah, if out of the money, then you probably want to give yourself a good amount of time, but you're paying for that time, so just keep that in mind. So you really want to time that bottom, and there's a chance that we could play in this area all the way until the end of April. There's a chance that we could sit down there with the miners and Bitcoin and everything, and we don't rally for another month, but eventually you will. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm so disappointed with this. I see my 1 hour chart. Yeah, so it's tagging that RSI, and maybe it can reverse from here. Let's look at a lower time frame. Not looking good. That's not good. Ugly. Okay. Do you guys want to talk about anything else? Oops. Do you guys want to talk about anything else? Yes, no, maybe so. If nothing, I might call it. I've been talking for about almost an hour. So you kind of know my general position and thoughts. Um, Up eventually, but we may get a pullback first, and then we'll head higher. Moderna. Okay, yeah, I can look at Moderna quickly. Moderna. Yes. I don't know. How did you get that like check mark in your name, Mr. Kitchen and Craft? You have like a you have some kind of check mark that makes your name stand out. Like you're special. Why don't I switch to Apple? Because I don't like being put in a box. Apple makes very nice boxes, but they put you in a box. And you have to do what Apple says. And you can't do anything that you want to do. And I like, oh wow, 100,000 subs. 100,000 subs, wow. Maybe you can help TRI get 100,000 subs. Feel free to DM me on our Discord. Because if we could definitely use some help there. Oh, YouTube is so hard. Um, let's see. Yeah, I don't switch to Apple because I don't like being in a box. And Apple puts you in a box, and Android lets you experiment and go outside the box. That kind of thing. Okay, Moderna. Let me look at a weekly. Yeah, I don't think it looks good. This is full on bull bear mode. I don't think I'd touch it. I don't like it. Mehdi asked SP falling ahead of good news for GDP tomorrow. I'm not sure. I don't know why it's going down. It's probably going down to just liquidate some people. Sting B asked about gold. All right, we can look at gold really quick. Yeah, so gold's continuing to rally. We've got my levels, right? So my final target is 3,700. I feel like I'm a broken record with this. Gold's gonna keep, it's just gonna keep heading higher until it hits its target. That's it. So if you're long gold, you should be doing well. I don't have any short-term targets really. I mean, on a daily chart, you could, but it's in a long-term bull. This is just full-on bull mode. And it's just grinding higher. It's been grinding higher since the beginning of last year. It's up 50%, right? So it's got a little bit more ways to go. This is going to be a resistance level, and then this is your final level. You've got another 20%. Could you take a look at Galaxy Digital? Yeah, I can look at it. I can look at it a little bit. I will look for you. Oh, it's a 9 came in. Big reversal, but you have a nice 9. Weekly RSI looks like pure shit. Daily looks a little bit better, but I'm not a huge fan. I definitely would wait on this one. I would wait. But I mean, if Bitcoin goes up, this should go up. But I don't. Weekly, you did get a TD9. I don't like that this RSI momentum broke down so hard. But the daily, it's not bad. This is, again, keep in mind, it's just a Bitcoin proxy. If Bitcoin goes up, this will go up. I like Mara better. I think it looks better. So that's why I have longs on that. And CLSK, I think those look better than this one. That's all. Okay, sure. Thank you. Yeah, I do a lot of other things besides just this that pay a bit better, including trading. So I don't think we've tried that hard, just because we don't really have to. It's kind of like a fun thing a bit. Um, what do you think of buying call options on miner? Yeah, that's fine. So Preston, my thoughts on the eclipse are I don't really know. Usually full moons and eclipses, and there's usually like it's usually counted as a turning point, but not always. Um, so you can use it if you want. Just think of it as another kind of indicator, but I wouldn't like bet your entire house on that. That's just my kind of my feedback on that one. I think that's all I've got, guys. I don't really have anything else. The market's tricky here, so you could get a rollover before we move higher, or we could just move higher from here. It's definitely very tricky, but this 1 hour, as I showed you, still looks bullish, and we're just playing with people here. That's what it kind of looks like. It looks like to me. Nice 15-minute. This potentially could be a reversal. Looks decent. Retest of the lows from yesterday. Yeah, I mean it could go either way. I think we'll move higher personally. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it. And next week I will have my DJI mic, so should be even better than however it sounds today. I'll have to listen back and see how it sounds. But yeah, be careful this week. Market could go either way. I'm leaning bullish, but it could go to the downside. But after this week, I think we should definitely within the next 30 days we'll be moving higher. I'm quite confident in that scenario, especially with what I'm seeing develop in the crypto space. So if we roll over, consider it a blessing to get long, to get into longs if you're not already long. But I definitely wouldn't be shorting this market. All right. Hopefully that helped you guys. And I hope you have a great rest of the week. Oh, and next week probably